So we will now move on to Senate Bill 186 to establish standard time in this state. Is there any proponent testimony for Senate Bill 186? Senator Perry.
Mr. Chair and the Senate State Affairs Committee, I am Senator Carl Perry, District 3, and this is Senate Bill 186, an act to establish standard time in this state. South Dakota should adopt year-round standard time instead of daylight savings time. According to the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, this is because standard time better aligns with our body's natural rhythms and can improve public health and safety. Why standard time is better? Well, the first thing is sleep. Standard time helps us fall asleep and wake up, while daylight savings time can disrupt our sleep cycle. Safety. Dark mornings due to daylight savings time can increase the risk of car crashes. Health. Daylight savings time has been linked to higher rates of cancer, mood disorders, and worse academic performance. And circadian rhythms. Standard time aligns with our circadian rhythms, which regulate other bodily functions like heart rate and liver function. Other considerations: switching between daylight savings time and standard time twice a year can be disruptive socially and biologically. The chronic effects of permanent daylight savings time have not been well studied. Additional information: many states have introduced bills to eliminate daylight savings time. A survey found that 64% of the Americans support eliminating seasonal times. Permanent standard time is undeniably the best option for our health. If you believe in science, according to Dr. Elena Tiani, a clinical health psychologist who specializes in behavioral sleep medicine at the Cleveland's Clinic Sleep Disorder Center on October 19, 2024, if you believe in science, she just says that it's undeniably the best option for our health. Advocates for solely using standard time argue that it aligns better with our natural circadian rhythms, minimizing sleep disruptions caused by the biannual time changes associated with the daylight savings time, leading to potential health benefits like reduced risk of cardiovascular issues and improved overall, I don't have this memorized, well-being. Additionally, eliminating the time change simplifies daily routines, can be potentially and it will boost productivity by minimizing confusion and adjustment periods. Key points in favor of standard time only: again, improved sleep health. Studies suggest that the disruption of the circadian rhythm from time changes can negatively impact your sleep quality, leading to fatigue and potential health complications, which can be mitigated by staying on standard time year-round. Reduce stress and confusion. Eliminating the need to adjust clocks twice a year can lessen the associated stress and confusion, particularly for individuals with young children or older adults. Potential economic benefits. Some research suggests that consistent time schedules could positively impact productivity in the workplaces and reduce accidents related to time changes and alignment with natural light patterns. Standard time generally better aligns with the natural progressions of daylight hours throughout the year, allowing for more exposure to sunlight during the waking hours. Support from medical professionals. Many sleep experts and medical associations advocate for adopting standard time year-round due to its positive impact on sleep health. Let's wake up and have one time and vote yes on SB 186. Thank you. I'll stand by for questions.
Thank you, Senator Perry. Is there any further proponent testimony on Senate Bill 186? Welcome, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Lord Nelson, District 18 State Senator. When I saw this bill was up, I told Senator Perry I'm going to be here to talk about it. First of all, as a teacher, when we have the time change, we lose a week of instruction, and I am not kidding. all of us teachers, administrators, just loathe that time change because we know what it means in our classrooms and in our schools. And secondly, if we keep it at one time, standard time, please do use standard time because of the fact that if we keep daylight savings time, the sun will not come up till 9 o'clock, will not rise until 9 o'clock in the winter if we stay on daylight savings time all year round. How many of us have been driving in the morning when kids are going to school, especially in January, those months when it's kind of darker when they go to school? I don't like it. And so if we keep it on daylight savings time, it will make it even worse, and that sun will not come up until 9 o'clock. So those are my 2 cents. I know teachers around the state would greatly, greatly appreciate not having to change that clock twice a year. Thanks.
Thank you, Senator Nelson. Is there any further proponent testimony for Senate Bill 186 here in the room? Seeing none, I believe we have a proponent online. JP, are you available?
Yes, sir, I am. I don't see how to activate the camera, but I think I'm unmuted now. Is that correct?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you just fine.
All right. Is the technical team able to unmute me?
You are unmuted. We can hear you just fine.
Or I apologize. Sorry. I mean to activate my camera.
I am not sure.
Okay.
Might be
well,
on your end. Maybe the switch. Maybe the camera's covered. But
no, the camera's not covered.
Okay. Well, if you could just testify.
Oh! I found the button.
Okay.
I apologize for that disruption. I'll proceed. Thank you so much, Mr. Chair, yes. Members of the committee. My name is JP. First name is JAY. Last name is PEA. I am the president of nonprofit Save Standard Time here in Arizona, originally from Iowa. I'm also the co-chair for the Coalition for Permanent Standard Time, a collaboration with the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, the American College of Chest Physicians, and several other groups for health and safety. I'm here to ask for your yes vote on Senate Bill 186, and thank you to Senator Perry for bringing this forward. This bill can ditch the switch, lock the clock, as most voters want, and it can do so in the quickest, safest, healthiest, and most lasting way. Permanent Standard Time is the natural clock set to the sun where 12 p.m. is high noon. It's the honest clock that our forefathers used. It balances the morning and the evening light for all walks of life, and that morning light is especially important for our sleep, our mood, our health, safety, education, productivity, for school children, for commuters, for outdoor workers, for service personnel. They need that morning light. This is the opinion of the American Academy of Neurology, the National Safety Council, Bloomberg Editorial Board, Glenn Beck, Dennis Prager. This is bipartisan. A lot of support for this. Arizona and Hawaii have already done this. Most nations have already done this. Mexico did it just 2 years ago. North Dakota House approved this a few weeks ago. Nebraska legislature approved this into their second engrossment stage just yesterday. Oklahoma, Texas, many other states are looking to do this, and many more will follow. South Dakota had permanent standard time until 1966, so your state is used to this. It would not be a disruption. Some people might fear losing summer, but nature makes summer happen, not the clock. And as someone previously mentioned, if you had permanent daylight time, the sun would not come up until 9 o'clock in the morning for 2 months. Permanent daylight time costs lives when tried. We need morning light for health, safety, and business. And if anybody really wants daylight saving time, they could just wake themselves earlier. That's all daylight saving time does. It's simply a government mandate to wake early, and government should really be in the business of honest clocks with permanent standard time. So to wrap up, I would say please pass this bill. It is the quickest, safest, healthiest, and most lasting way to end that disruptive and sometimes deadly clock change. Thank you all for letting me speak, and I'd be glad to answer any questions you might have. Yes, on Senate Bill 186.
Thank you, Mr. P. I don't believe there's any other proponent testimony on this bill. If there is, please speak up. or move forward? Seeing none, we will now move to opponent testimony on Senate Bill 186. Good morning, Representative.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm citizen John Sjaarda this morning, representing myself. When I saw this on the schedule, I said I had to come talk to it because I love daylight savings time. I'm here today to oppose SB 186. Daylight savings times make so much sense. I know it doesn't change the amount of daylight in a day, but it moves 1 hour of daylight from when most people are sleeping, like 4 o'clock in the morning, to when most people are awake, like 8 o'clock in the evening. Now I farm, so I work outside all summer long. So I like having the extra hour of daylight at the end of the day for baling or spraying or mowing or working with livestock. And I know some of you will say, just wake up an hour earlier. Well, that's possible for me, but what about all the people who are working 8 to 5 jobs? They get home at 5:30. They want to go get a round of golf in before dark. They want to take the boat out to the lake and do some surfing with the family or do yard work. And most of us have lawns to mow and many other outdoor activities that we want to do after work. So it's nice to have an extra hour of sunlight at night after work to enjoy creation with the family. How about baseball? Many of us have kids playing baseball. Many diamonds do not have lights because it stays light so late at night. This would take an hour of playing time away from all those kids. Now let's talk about football. I had 2 boys play football, so I have a lot of experience with this one. Starting in 3rd grade, or maybe sooner, Pee Wee football starts. There are many teams. There are so many teams that coaches have to find lots of different places to practice. A lot of the time it's just green spaces, usually in a park. There are no lights at these places. When practice starts in August, this is no problem. But as the weeks go by and the sun keeps setting earlier and earlier, by the 1st of October, it's getting dark by 7 o'clock. If we don't have daylight savings time, it'll be dark by 6 o'clock. That makes it really tough for the dads who are trying to coach their kids after work. Now let's talk about the logistics of our state doing this, but not neighboring states. I live 1 mile from Minnesota, 5 miles from Iowa. Many people in Iowa and Minnesota work and go to church in Sioux Falls. Can you imagine half of the year you're at the same time in both states and the other half you're an hour different? This causes much unneeded confusion. In fact, the proponent just said that we didn't have this in South Dakota until 1966, and I know that Minnesota did. And I heard lots of stories from my parents and grandparents about, they went to church and school in Minnesota, lived in South Dakota. The news was on the TV that it, changed their clocks. In South Dakota, they actually changed it to be with Minnesota just to have less confusion. So if we would get rid of daylight savings time, we would feel every day the effects of spring, summer, and fall, not just a few days of adjustment when we change the clocks. In fact, if we tried this before in the 70s and it didn't work, the approval of getting rid of time change was 79% in 1973 and went to 42% in 1974. So they got rid of it and went back to time change. To sum it up, let's keep daylight savings time so we can enjoy an extra hour of daylight in the evening when most of us are awake and want to work and play on the beautiful spring, summer, and fall evenings, and avoid the confusion for the people and communities close to the state line. So I ask the state affairs to do what you do best and kill this bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sjaarda. Further opponent testimony on Senate Bill 186. Seeing none, we'll move to rebuttal. Senator Perry.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. To tell you the truth, I would have never thought that I would be discussing daylight savings time or standard time with a group of individuals like yourself, but this is important. I gave you a handout, and the last page of the handout was Save Standard Time, and there's just a lot of good information there, which I won't go through now. But South Dakota has 4 time zones right now, and we say it's confusing when we have someone else that has one that's different than ours. We have 2 in western South Dakota, 2 in eastern South Dakota. This would make it so that we would have 1 in each. And we did, at one time, try to have daylight savings time come through the legislative process, and it failed. So if the legislators have said that daylight savings time is not a good idea, maybe the legislators are going to say standard time is a good idea. And actually, this would make things a little bit easier. The first song that I ever sang when I was a freshman in high school was "The Sun is a-Rising to Welcome the Day. Hi-ho, come to the fair." What that means is we can make a difference. I had several constituents say it's time to get rid of multiple time zones. And when the consumer, the constituent, the people that are older and younger both have told me they'd like to have one time zone. Now, if it was daylight savings time, I could probably go along with that. But the fact is, having two time zones doesn't make sense. Arizona's like this, several other states are going this way. I think that we can set the pace and do the right thing and get this to the floor and let people decide. This is one of those things that's a people issue. I think our constituents need standard time. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Perry. We'll go now to committee questions. Are there any questions from the committee? Senator Pischke, do you have a question?
No, it's a comment.
Okay. Well, seeing no questions, we will move to committee discussion and/or action. Senator Pischke.
I'll wait for a motion here, but I appreciate, having a discussion here. I think the good senator from Yankton made some good points. I think the good representative from Valley Springs makes some good points. I did really like the discussion about the impact on the kids, but then I also find it ironic, I should say, that there's nobody here from the school lobby. But I think, we all know why that is. So that was my comment. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any other items of discussion? So we'll look for action on the bill. Is there a motion? Senator Deibert.
I would move this to the 41st day.
We have a motion from Senator Deibert to move this to the 41st day, second by Senator Carr. Any further discussion on the motion?
Thank you, Mr.
Senator
Chairman.
Deibert.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think the opposition made some good points. We have a state that's 400 miles east to west plus, so it affects each place differently, and it's working well. Kids are getting on the school bus in daylight, getting home in daylight, so this is not needed. Thank you.
Senator Jensen.
This is a tough one, but I agree with the opponents in that, as a 4-H leader and a coach of youth sports for many years, we would be having our 4-H show events in the evenings in the dark. It's not the most ideal to keep moving back and forth, but I do think it serves a purpose. So I think I'd be supporting the motion.
Any further comments? Senator Perry.
Well, naturally, I'm going to resist this motion, and the reason for that is it's time to make a difference. It's time to do the right thing, and it's time to go to standard time. When we talk about doing the right thing, there are a lot of things that we can do, but doing nothing is not the solution. This is kicking the can down the road. What always happens here is we don't only kick the can down the road, but we hide the can. Let's quit hiding the can. It's time to make a change. And even though you're saying go to the 41st day, let's not go to the 41st day. Let's go to the floor and let the people decide. Thank you.
Any further comments on the motion?
Sorry. That's my job.
Seeing none, seeing no further comments.
No time for it.
Yeah. I'll make a comment. I actually thought both sides made some very excellent points on the subject, and the fact that we wouldn't be the Lone Ranger, but we would be in a very, very small group of states that have done this. I think I'm going to support the motion. So I'd ask the Secretary to please call the roll.
Senator Beal.
Aye.
Deibert.
Aye.
Jensen.
Aye.
Carr.
Aye.
Larson. Aye. Peterson. Pischke. Perry.
We'll go with no.
Mehlhaff.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, we have 8 ayes and 1 soft nay.
Senate Bill 186, having been motioned for the 41st day and having carried a majority, is hereby moved to the 41st day. It just wasn't ready for prime time, I guess.
What time was it?